Hello, this is Duncan here with VARAC TV, and on this morning's video I am joined by Paul Subject. Good morning, Paul.
Duncan, how are you, my friend?
Very good. So Paul is the director of the Formula Classic grid for VARAC and is also one of the key members of the Driver Conduct Committee. And this morning's video, Paul, is a little bit of an instructional and reminder video about driver conduct and safety on the track. Obvious question, Paul. Why is it important?
It's a great question, Duncan. You know that one of the things we want to do is make sure that people arrive with their car safely, that when they leave, it goes back in the trailer the same way it came out. And so we've put this video together to talk about some basic rules of engagement around being on the racetrack and being in the spirit of VARAC and vintage racing. And so that's why we put the video together, just as a refresher for everybody, so they can have a feel for the kinds of things we're looking at, the kinds of things we'd rather they not do, and things we really want them to do.
Good stuff. Paul, so I'm a relatively new racer myself. So when I watched the video a little while ago, I found it really valuable. So we'll watch the video now and we'll come back after the video and have a quick chat.
Perfect.
Hello everyone, my name is Paul Subject and I am the director of the Formula Classic grid for the Vintage Automobile Racing Association of Canada, VARAC. The purpose of our VARAC driver orientation program is to familiarize drivers who are new to our grids about our rules as they refer to on-track behavior and to refresh those that have been racing on our grids over the years. Our shared mission is simple. Safety is always our top priority. In terms of driving behavior, we need to hold ourselves to the highest standards for on-track behavior. And in terms of driver attitude, the desire to win must never take precedence over the safety of all participants. Our grid follows the VARAC concept of the spirit of vintage racing. Remember, there is no prize money. There are no F1 scouts, and at the end of the day, we want to bring the race car home in the condition that we brought it to the racetrack at the start of the weekend. And above all else, we want to be safe on the racetrack. You might ask yourself why we need rules. Well, we want everyone to understand and race by the same standards. Rules help determine who's at fault when there's an incident. Our grid is different. Each one of our cars has diverse handling characteristics. There's a wide range of speed differentials on our grid. Each of our drivers have different goals and they have varied skills. And to participate successfully on our grid, drivers must accommodate these differences. Let's take a moment to talk about the VARAC rule set. Our grids follow the VARAC concept of the spirit of vintage racing. The primary directive of the club is to promote the preservation of racing cars in a format which emphasizes the fun factor, camaraderie, driver safety, and etiquette. All racing is dangerous, and only the proper attitude of the driver and the careful preparation of the cars will diminish this danger and will enhance driver appreciation of the sport. In addition to the spirit of vintage racing, all VARAC on-track activities are based on a strict application of the no contact rule. Disciplinary action, if required, follows the 1313 format set out in our conduct procedures. You can look at our conduct procedures by linking this particular website and taking a look at the PDF. Please visit our website and familiarize yourself with the rules, including any recent changes for those who have not read them in the past year. Remember, ignorance of the rules is never a valid excuse for wrongdoing. During the next few slides, we're going to talk about the rules of the road. For this first slide, we're going to talk about overtaking. Drivers that are overtaking other cars are responsible for the decision to pass another car and to accomplish this pass safely, while overtaken drivers are responsible for being aware that they are being overtaken and shall not deliberately impede the overtaking car. Being overtaken. If you are ahead of another car, you do not own any corner or turn. Be aware of overtaking cars by using your mirrors. When someone pulls up even with your car coming up to the turning point at a corner, give racing room. Do not shut the door. You have the right to the normal line if you are ahead, but do not try to get out of the way. Be predictable and give racing room. All competitors have the right to racing room on the racetrack. Racing room is defined as sufficient space on the racetrack to allow competitors to maintain control of their cars in close quarters, under racing conditions. Maneuvers liable to hinder other drivers, such as deliberate crowding of the car beyond the edge of the track or blocking, are definitely prohibited. Blocking is defined as being movement in reaction and also includes any unusual or abnormal lines to inhibit or prevent passing. Only one move is allowed. No swerving or back and forth moves. Avoid sudden moves off the racing line, and be predictable. Remember, when you're racing in traffic, be predictable. This is especially important between the start and the first turn. Please don't use any sudden, low percentage moves, and do not dive bomb. Check your mirrors frequently and develop a sense of the cars around you. This, of course, enhances your situational awareness. And please, no splitting of faster cars on slower cars. Do not pass on both sides. This graphic shows the ideal pass. Green car number 2, the car on the inside, has presented themselves early and is even ahead at the turn-in point. Red car number 1 needs to yield the corner, give racing room, be predictable, and do not shut the door. The dive bomb. Obviously, green car number 2 is late to the corner and dives on the inside of the red car number 1. Red car number 1 has the right to the normal racing line, and the green car number 2 is at fault if contact is made. Remember, don't dive bomb. Damage avoidance. Do not pass someone slowing to avoid a car in trouble. If an out-of-control car is still moving, please be aware. A driver who causes an accident because he has lost control is at fault. Be in control at all times. A driver who causes an accident by taking advantage of another's misfortune is also at fault. If you slow for any reason, put your hand up and pull off the racing line. And if you spin, put 2 feet in and hold them there until you come to a complete stop. We're going to spend the next few slides talking about flags used in Canadian racing. They're slightly different than those used in the US, so pay attention, as you may see a different flag deployed from time to time. The green flag, or the Canadian national flag, the maple leaf, is used at the starter stand to indicate that the race has begun. You can only pass when you see this flag. You cannot pass at the back of the pack. The yellow flag, a signal of danger, is used in an area of the station displaying the flag. Overtaking is not permitted. Slow down. As a matter of fact, you cannot pass again until you pass the plane of the next green flag station. The white flag indicates that there's a slow-moving vehicle on track and to be aware. The black and white checkered flag means that the race has been completed. Racing is over, slow down, and come into the pits next time by. The red flag means cease racing. Slow down significantly for normal speed. Stay to drivers right on the track and be alert for response vehicles. Return to the pits. The blue flag means you're about to be overtaken by the faster car. Please pay attention to blue flags and do not move from your current racing line. Black flags displayed at all stations means to stop racing, no passing, and return to the pits. Black flag shown at the starter stand with a number on the board informs drivers to stop in the pits next time by and await instructions by race officials. Black flag with an orange disc, the meatball, shown motionless at the start-finish line with a car number on a board, informs the driver of a mechanical problem and to stop in the pits next time by. Yellow flag with red stripes means there's a slippery surface. Use caution in this area. Let's take a few moments and talk about our Drivers Committee. The goal of our Drivers Committee is to promote safe, respectful, and enjoyable racing that follows our 1313 rules. The Drivers Committee keeps track of infractions, monitors patterns of behavior. If an unsafe pattern arises, actions are taken. Demerit points are accumulated, and if certain thresholds are met, penalties are applied. These points only apply to Vintage Racing Club members. Each demerit point is kept for 13 months. Incident records are kept for 5 years. The maximum accumulated demerit points in any season are 20. Our online incident report system is available either on your smartphone or via computer using the QR codes shown at right. These codes are displayed at registration, the CASC trailer, and at Drivers Committee trailers. And we will have a computer available on hand for those who need assistance. All incidents must be reported through our online system. Any incident that involves damage to vehicles requires that the driver completes the form as well as meets with a driver's committee member. Additional information, such as photos, in-car videos, marshal reports, etc., will be reviewed by the driver's committee. Tracking of incidents with the online report form is easy. If a situation arises at the track that demands immediate action, driver committee members will be called to a meeting. After each event, an event incident report is generated and sent out, and if required, a meeting can be called prior to the next event. We have demerit points associated with any infractions. A maximum of 20 demerit points means a license suspension for 13 months. 16 points is probation for 13 months, and 10 points means that a warning letter is issued. In all these cases, the Vintage Motorsports Council is notified. Demerit points per incident: 1 point for 4 wheels off or a spin, 4 points for contact with a wall with no other vehicles involved, 6 points for failure to report, 0 to 10 points if there's contact with another car, and 16 points for unsportsmanlike conduct by the driver or the crew in the paddock or on event premises. There are appeals available. There's no appeals, though, granted for single point incidents or single vehicle contact with the wall. These are clear-cut incidents. Appeals can be granted for incidents that are 6 or more demerit points, especially if they push the accumulated total to a change in license status. That's 10, 16, or 20. Appeals must be registered with the driver's committee and heard before the applicant's next event. The Vintage Motorsport Council is the coordinating body for vintage motorsports groups all across Canada and the United States, and it administers the VMC Incident Reporting System, which compiles serious incident reports or driver sanctions which are reported to VMC by its members. So what did you learn in our program? Well, first of all, on our grid, we want you to embrace the spirit of vintage racing. We want you to drive by our rules. We want you to respect your fellow racers and their race cars. Prepare your race car well. Be predictable and be safe. Most importantly, a successful race weekend means putting your car back on the trailer in the same condition as when it came off at the beginning of the weekend. So let's get out there and have some clean fun, clean racing, and a good time both on and off the track.
Okay, so that was quite interesting, Paul. As I mentioned before we watched it, I'm a relatively new racer, and before I come to you, I'm going to share my first takeaway from the video, which is, yes, it's about driver safety and all that, but I feel like it's actually showing me to be a better driver in general. What is that? Is that part of the intent?
The key is to get everybody to the same basic level of understanding around what it's like to be on the track with other cars and how to play nice. That's our whole goal, right?
Absolutely.
You know, the spirit of vintage racing is shall we call them gentlemen racers, where we don't really touch each other on the racetrack, and we kind of be very courteous. That's our plan, and that's the goal. And so it does teach you to be a better driver. It teaches you to have your eyes up, look ahead, and be aware.
Yeah, I mean, I'll confess, Paul, that I'm a Formula One fan. I'll watch that on TV. I'll watch the entire season on TV. And if that's the only place I'm getting my driver cues from, I'm in for a lot of trouble, because the actual conduct on track on a Formula One grid is very different to VARAC.
Absolutely. Well, they are not vintage drivers. Now, if you went to the vintage Formula One races, you'd see a whole lot different driving.
Yeah. And the idea of the other takeaway, as I mentioned before, about it being a better driver, the piece about getting to the corner and being ahead on the corner, giving you the right to the inside line, and for the overtaking car to give you the space, and the no dive bombing thing. I think that's really important, because that's what you see in Formula One a lot. Particular drivers, I won't name them, will use that as a part of their strategy, and they haven't got a prayer of making the corner.
No. The famous line is, "I'm going to send it." Yeah. And that never works especially in vintage car racing, but also in any kind of racing where you want to actually preserve the sanctity and the quality of the car afterwards. You don't want to be touching each other on the racetrack. Absolutely.
And I'll finish off by talking about saying what you said at the start. Putting your car back on the trailer in the same shape it came off the trailer is a massive bonus. I've had that happen to me where it wasn't the same shape and it just made me sad.
Yeah, nobody wants to be sad leaving the racetrack. You want to have a great big smile on your face and a big thumbs up.
Absolutely. Paul, and to the driver conduct team, thanks for putting the video together. As I mentioned, it was really educational, and it's a good reminder of even if you are an experienced racer, a good reminder to brush up on your personal attributes about conduct on track and be a better racer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for joining me, Paul.
My pleasure, Duncan. Thank you so much.
See you soon.